Think for a second about the first image that comes to mind when you hear the word Cambodia. For most people, it's one of two things. It's either the golden sunrise over the ancient towers of Angkor Wat, or it's something much darker. A grainy black and white image from a history book. A reminder of a time the world would rather forget. The years under the Khmer Rouge regime. And that's the problem. Because when a country is reduced to just two images, one beautiful, one tragic, you don't really see it at all. You see a version of it that's frozen in time. But here's the deeper issue. It's not just that people don't know Cambodia. It's that many feel like they already do. But as we found during our journey here, Cambodia is not frozen. It's moving, fast. And the truth is, this might be one of the most misunderstood countries in Southeast Asia.
To understand Cambodia, we realized you can't ignore its past. In the late 1970s under Pol Pot, the country went through one of the darkest chapters of the 20th century. An estimated 1.7 to 2 million people lost their lives. It wasn't just a tragedy, it was an attempt to erase identity itself, targeting intellectuals, artists, and entire communities. And for decades, that became Cambodia's global image. But here's what we found often gets missed. That story didn't end there. Today, more than 60% of Cambodia's population is under the age of 30. Most people you meet didn't live through that era. They inherited the memory, but they're building something entirely different. There's a quiet weight to the past, but just beyond it you begin to see something shift. But the moment we stepped back into the city, everything shifted. We saw students, entrepreneurs, creators, not a country stuck in recovery, but a country actively rewriting its future.
Before we arrived, we kept hearing the same thing. Be careful. Is it safe? There's this lingering perception of Cambodia as unpredictable, almost like a Wild West. But our reality felt very different. What we experienced was something quieter, softer, an everyday warmth that people call the Khmer Smile. We realized pretty quickly, it isn't transactional. It doesn't feel forced or rehearsed. It's genuine. And that difference stands out. Because yes, Cambodia is still a developing country, and there are real challenges. Like anywhere, a bit of basic awareness still matters. Poverty is visible. Infrastructure isn't perfect. And it's important to acknowledge that. But reducing Cambodia to those things misses something essential. What stood out to us wasn't the struggle, it was the momentum. We saw it in street vendors building a living from scratch, in students learning English late into the evening, in people who aren't waiting for change, they're creating it.
If you arrive in Phnom Penh expecting something quiet or outdated, you're going to be surprised. The city feels alive, not in a polished, perfectly curated way, but in a raw, honest way. We'd pass modern cafes filled with young Cambodians working on laptops, then turn a corner and find a street that felt untouched for decades. It wasn't unusual to see a monk in saffron robes walking past a luxury SUV, or a traditional street market sitting right beside a glass-fronted building. It doesn't feel staged. It feels like multiple timelines coexisting, all moving forward at once. And that energy is hard to ignore.
Another misconception we wanted to understand was the idea that Cambodia is difficult to access or navigate. In reality, it's one of the more accessible countries in the region. Most travelers can get a visa on arrival or apply online with relative ease, and extensions are usually straightforward, though it's always worth checking the latest official guidelines before traveling. What also stood out to us was how simple daily life can feel for visitors. US dollars are widely used alongside the local Riel, which removes a lot of the friction you might expect when arriving in a new country. It just makes everything feel easier to navigate from the start. But beyond the logistics, what really stayed with us wasn't just how easy it was to arrive. It was how hard it was to leave. Cambodia has this quiet pull to it, something that lingers long after you think you've experienced it.
Yes, Angkor Wat is extraordinary. Seeing it in person is something you don't forget. But if that's all you experience, you've barely scratched the surface. Further south, places like Koh Rong offer quiet beaches and a more laid-back atmosphere. In Kampot, life slows down. River views, quiet evenings, and a rhythm that feels untouched. And in Battambang, there's something unexpected, a growing creative scene, artists, and a sense of quiet reinvention. Cambodia doesn't always present its beauty up front. You have to look for it. But when you find it, it feels more real, not curated, not filtered, just lived.
Something we didn't expect to connect with so deeply was the food. Khmer cuisine doesn't try to overwhelm you. It's not about extreme spice or bold intensity. It's about balance, lemongrass, turmeric, fresh herbs, flavors that build slowly and stay with you. But more than the food itself, it was how people eat. At night markets, we saw families gathered on mats, sharing meals together. No rush, no distractions, just conversation. In many parts of the world, that kind of connection feels like something we've lost. Here, it still feels natural. And it reminded us that the soul of this country isn't just in its landmarks, it's in its people.
One of the most important things we realized about Cambodia today is its youth. This is a young country, full of people who grew up in a completely different reality than the one the world still imagines. Smartphones, social media, global culture, but also something deeper. A sense of identity that isn't erased by history. It's built on top of it. We saw it in music, in fashion, in business. Artists like VannDa are blending traditional Khmer elements with modern global sounds, reaching audiences far beyond Cambodia. This isn't a country stuck in the past. It's a country redefining what comes next, and that shift is happening in real time.
So why does Cambodia still get misunderstood? Part of it is simple. The world tends to remember extremes, the tragedy, or the temples. But we found that the most meaningful parts were the everyday life in between. Cambodia carries its past. You feel it in the quiet places, in the memories, in the stories people share. But it is not defined by it. What we saw wasn't a country trapped in history. It was a country moving forward, deliberately and with purpose. Not perfect, not polished, but real. And maybe the biggest misunderstanding of all is thinking that Cambodia's story has already been written. Because after being here, we realized it hasn't. It's still being written, every single day. What surprised you most about Cambodia? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to explore more places beyond the headlines with us, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the related video on your screen for more fascinating content. Explore our channel for even more exciting videos. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to GlobeGazette for more incredible stories. Your support means everything to us. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.